Call the meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. All members are present. Approval of the agenda. We have two additions. 7F, approve resolution 2024-21 authorizing quotes for pickup. And 9 in new business winter parking ordinance. Is there any other changes? Council? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with those changes?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Shellen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Approval of the minutes of the February 7th, 2024 regular meeting. I'll receive them in your packet. Is there any changes or corrections needed within that packet? Hearing nothing, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 7th regular meeting?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. This now brings us to our public open forum. Is there anyone that would like to speak to the council, separate from the public hearing that we have tonight? Is there anyone that would like to speak to the council? Call a third time. Is there anyone that would like to speak to the council? Seeing no one, our public open forum is closed. We'll now move on to reports and presentations. Police Department monthly report. Brian?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Activity report for January 2024. Some of the numbers we had. We had 9 alarm calls. We had 14 business assists. We did 55 foot patrols. We had 25 medicals. We did 319 traffic stops. We did 61 patrols at the school. We had 36 administrative tickets. We had 14 accidents, 7 welfare checks. We had 9 juvenile problems. We did 15 assists for other agencies. We had a total activity of 818. What else? We're still in the training mode for the officer Letitia Harden, still getting her trained in. And our new squads are just notified that we're supposed to have last June, July, are finally in. So should be picking them up pretty soon. Numbers compared to December we're down 37 calls. And compared to 2023, we're up 75. That's about all I have.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public Works Department, Ben?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Over the past month, with the lack of snow, we've actually been working in the storm sewer ponds quite a bit, doing some tree removals next to the outlets and fixing rocks or any erosion that we've noticed that needed repair. The arena, we have 10 days left until the end of the season. We will start to remove the ice on March 4th. That's a Monday. JC Park dugout roof repair, they started framing that today. The steel will go on as soon as that was in. They ended up with the wrong color, so that'll get repaired next week. The xylophone instrument in the middle park was ripped from its mount and is broken. So we're currently discussing a repair or replacement plan for that, so that'll be missing for a while. Playground inspections were completed. We had to order some parts for a few things. Some stuff's come in, so we've been working on getting all that stuff up and ready for spring. Airport, last week we had the FAA came and they did the initial commission on our runway lights from the runway project, so everything was working in the airport past that, so that was good. Library had a repair made to the boiler system, so this is now back to proper working condition with both boilers up and running. Street sweeper warranty work is completed and is scheduled to be brought back to us next week. Tree trimming along road right-of-ways is taking place. We did have one plow truck that needed a repair made for an intake throttle valve that was malfunctioning. A couple street signs were damaged, so those have been repaired in place. Andrew Durkis took his tree forester class and certification test, so he is done with that. He'll be our new tree forester going forward. And Ryan Bjorstrom is just completing all of his class work for pesticide applicator. He'll take his test in a couple weeks. Any questions I can answer?
Questions, concerns? Keep up the good work.
Yep.
Thank you. 5C, ambulance year-end report. Kathy.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here to present the fourth quarter and year-end report for 2023 for the ambulance service. In your packet, you'll find the picture of the current crew as it stands right now. 21 EMTs, 3 emergency medical responders, 3 paramedics for a total of 27 staff members. So this is the largest our crew has ever been. And we still have a couple people, I have folders on where I keep people that are interested if we have any openings or anything. So, and I keep in contact with those individuals. So I just want to thank all these crew members who give what they can to get all of our calls covered, and thank you to their families who support them on the crew. We get paged out at any moment and miss out on holiday gatherings and kids' activities, so we appreciate our families as well. And we have Dr. Thomas. She continues to support us as our medical director. She's guiding us and she believes in us, and through the years, and being such a huge part in assisting us to become part-time advanced life support that we did this year. So that was a huge step for us. Third quarter report for October, we had 19 no loads. We had 0 ALS transfers because that was in our transition stage. We weren't allowed to take nurses from the hospital any longer, but we weren't ALS yet. So we had 0 ALS transfers. But CentraCare reports to us how many they come in and take, and they had taken 4 out of our hospital during the month of October. We had 21 BLS transfers and 43 medical calls for a total of 83 runs and activities for that month. That compares to 67 last year and 68 10 years ago for the same month. And of those 83 reports for October, the total number of calls that were billed out were 62 for a total of approximately $68,280. In November, we had 17 no loads, 3 ALS transfers by us after November 16th date, and 3 ALS transfers that were taken out by CentraCare prior to November 16th. We had 17 basic life support transfers and 32 medical calls for a total of 75 runs and activities, and that compares to 60 last year and 55 10 years ago. And of those 75 for November, the total number billed out was 58, and of those 58, one of the medical calls we had was an ALS. We had a paramedic that was available and responded on a call with us and provided ALS services. So we billed out a total of $71,428 in November. In December, we had 13 no loads, 2 ALS transfers by us, no ALS transfers reported to have been taken out by CentraCare during the month of December. We had 2 mutual aid requests, one from Alamere out of Alexandria and one from Melrose Hospital, but we did not have medics available for those 2 mutual aid requests. So we have other services now that are aware that we're part-time ALS and they're starting to call us for assistance. So, and for December, we had 13 BLS transfers, 40 medical calls for a total of 79 runs and activities. That compares to 56 last year and 59 10 years ago. And of the 79 in December, we billed out 64. 8 of those were billed out at an ALS rate where we had the medics that were available to respond and assisted with ALS services for a total of $70,332. So for the fourth quarter, we billed out approximately $210,040. Fourth quarter special details, public relations, we had 3 football standbys. We had tours with the kindergarten class at the public school. Mutual aids, we did 4 mutual aids for North out of Alexandria, 3 of those patients were taken to Alamere and Alexandria, and 1 was a no transport. We did 5 mutual aid requests for Centricare EMS, 2 transfers from Long Prairie to Sanford and Fargo, 1 transfer from St. Cloud to Prairie St. John's, 1 transfer from Long Prairie to St. Paul Children's Hospital, and 1 from Long Prairie to St. Cloud Hospital. And then we did 2 mutual aids with Melrose, 1 medical taken to Melrose Hospital, and we did 1 standby for them for a private event. So that's fourth quarter. Year-end statistics, you've got the patient age range in years. You can see that our biggest group is 50 to 59, 60 to 69, 70 to 79, 80 to 89, where it's 9.92% through 15.4%. And from those, that's the biggest group of patients that we typically deal with that are in that age group. We get very few that are under 1 year. It shows we had 8 last year under 1 year. 1 to 9 is only 25 patients, or 2.64%. And this does show we had 5 patients from 100 to 120 years of age. I think that might be somehow, it's not right, because I don't think we had that many patients over that age, but it's possible. Patient race, you can see, our majority of patients, 94% are white, and 3.48% Hispanic, and 1.16% African American or Black, and there's kind of a few other nationalities here and there. The scene incident by county. Of course, Stearns County, we have 90% of our runs are in Stearns County, because that includes the city of Sauk Center and El Rosa, Padua, no, we don't do Meyer Grove. So just our small towns. Then Todd County is the next populated area that we serve, of 8% of our calls into Todd County. That includes like West Union and the south side of Little Sauk. Douglas County, we're very low percentage. We just have a small slice of service area in Douglas County, so we're under 1% of our calls in Douglas County, as well as Pope County, under 1%. And then we did 1 call in Benton County, so that showed up on our stats. And then scene incident city name. Our system doesn't allow us right now to do the townships individually, so I know Tim's been working with them to try to get that where we can get the townships listed, because we like to have each township to know how much patient care we've given in each township. But so the scene incident city it's totally on the way the address is put in. If it's within the city of Sauk Center, that shows 72%, or if it's just a Sauk Center mailing address for the address where we went. So that's what it's showing here, is the mailing addresses. So like Belgrade, we're way down south in the, El Rosa area. Long Prairie, we're doing those mutual aids for Long Prairie, or we go up by Little Sauk area. Sometimes they have Long Prairie addresses. So unfortunately, like I said, we can't get the townships, but we do have the cities that they're addressed from. So that's what I have for the year-end stats. Just for a recap for the big highlights of our year, we had another full code save in 2023, and then we went part-time ALS on November 16th. And then the other big news item was having a crew deliver a baby at a residence on a medical call, which you guys get to see the presentation when we did that. So that was a big first for our service to have a baby delivered, another first in 2023. So our service has worked hard. Tim and I have put in a lot of time, a lot of hours, and Dr. Thomas has done a lot to help us, and our entire crew works together. We have a great service thanks to our crew, so that's what makes us who we are. So any questions for me?
Questions? Sounds good.
All right.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ambulance Department year-end billing report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For the billing report for the ambulance service for the year 2023, of the runs that we had, we billed out 721 calls of service. for a total of $767,959 and change, which was up from last year and, kind of stayed steady with the other years that we've had. On the collection side of things, then, we collected a total of $446,820 and change. This includes funds that were collected by our billing company, along with return files that we entered into revenue recapture and collections. We also had an agreement with Sauk Center Hospital to do some special transports, but they stopped doing that in June, I think. So now we're forced to bill insurance companies those fees. Give you an example, that would be like a hospice transfer or a patient that has no ability to return home, so we transferred them. The hospital used to pay for that, but they stopped doing that. I did have a breakdown of the collections as far as how we collected it, from our billing company, revenue recapture and collections. And then we did have to adjust $223,829.31. A majority of this is Medicare, Medicaid claims that are federally mandated that we can only collect a certain amount of money. So we're going to have to write those off. The other one would be patients that maybe are deceased and they have no estate to collect on. And I do also have a breakdown of the returned files that we did enter into revenue capture also and collections. Any questions I can help you with on the collection side of things?
Questions? No?
Okay, so good night.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Fire Department Annual Report. Jeff?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. So, doing the 2023 annual report by Steve Moritz, last year's fire chief. Structure fires, we had 6 compared to 18 for 2022, which is good. Structure fires were down. Grass fires were 9, that remained the same. Rescue and medical calls were 42 compared to 25. Most of that was one patient was probably 11 times, so last year, so that's why that was up. Car accidents were down 23 compared to 28. Gas and smoke and fire alarms were down 16 compared to 21. False cancel calls 40 compared to 49 in 2022. And then we have more service calls, 12 compared to 5. So 148 calls compared to 155, so we were down. Response calls billed was $19,225. Response calls received was $6,214. Response calls received for 2023 was $16,813. Unpaid was $2,412. Write-offs and collections was $3,500. Grants, reimbursements, and donations, Sauk Center Fire Relief, $85,000. Community Connection was $500. Minnesota National Bank was $333. Sauk Center CVB was $250. John Jelke and Mike and Nancy Noel was $100 apiece. Weston Combined Charities was $50, and John Wayne's Ward was $2,500. So total contributions was $88,833 to the city. So we had 1 firefighter retire in 2023, and 0 firefighters hired in 2023. And then for 2024, we did have a retiree here in February of 2024. So we have 2 openings now, and then we have applications going out. So, any questions?
Okay. Any questions? All right, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Planning Commission report. Sarah?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In your packet, you have a copy of our agenda from February's meeting, which was a very short meeting. We had no public hearings, so it's pretty much building permit reports. December of 2023, we issued 6 permits with a valuation of $470,000. And during the month of January 2024, 7 permits were issued for a total construction value of $1.5 million. And the $1.5 million, that is allocated to the new truck wash that is being constructed south of Truckers Inn. So usually we don't have that big of a number in January. Were there any questions about the permits issued?
Any questions, comments?
No.
Okay, thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Then we will move on to public hearings. We'll recess this meeting and go into our public hearing. We have one public hearing before us this evening in accordance with the official mailed and public notice in the matter of vacation of a public utility easement. It is our intention that everyone has the opportunity to be heard. If you wish to speak, please sign in on the sign-up sheet at the back of the room. The procedure is as follows. Presentation by staff, followed by questions of staff. Then public input. Raise your hand. When recognized by the mayor, approach the podium and state your name and address for the record. State your comments and position. No one will be allowed to speak a second time until everyone has had a chance to be heard. First, we will hear questions for clarification. Second, public in favor of the proposal. Third, public speaking against the proposal. After everyone who wishes to speak has had the opportunity to be heard, the hearing will be closed. After closure of the public hearing, the council will deliberate and take action as appropriate. Members of the audience do not participate in the council's discussion unless a majority of the council concedes to hear additional information or questions. The hearing is now in session. Vicki?
Okay, as you said, we needed to conduct a public hearing to consider the request to vacate a platted utility easement in the Joseph Anthony plat. Brian Mossman of 415 Pendergast Street is the owner of lots 1 and 2, except the southerly 23.4 feet. A few meetings ago, you had approved that lot split where lot 2 of the underlying plat was split and then the north half of it, or 2/3 of it, was combined with lot 1. That has now been sold to Mr. Mossman. He is now proposing to construct a residence on the property that would span that original lot line common to the two lots, which includes that platted utility easement. He is requesting that the easement be vacated. So we did schedule the hearing for tonight. It was posted and advertised according to law. You see on the certificate of survey that you have, I have the red arrow showing that original lot line and where that easement is. And of course, we don't need that easement. Excuse me. Potential spam was calling me.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
anyway, you can see that that is the original lot line and that utility easement would no longer be needed.
Okay. Everyone understands where this is located, what the situation is. Is there any questions or concerns? Otherwise, we will move on to public input. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor or against or needs clarification? Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor, against, or needs clarification on this proposal? Call a third time. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor or against or needs clarification on this proposal? Okay, don't see anyone. Is there any last minute concerns or anything like that? All right, then we will now close our public hearing and reconvene our normal council meeting. We will take care of what happened in the public hearing here later on in the agenda. Action item 7A, Ambulance Department Annual Medicare Adjustment.
This action is subsequent to the Ambulance Department billing report that authorizes the annual adjustment, and this is to Medicaid, Medicare, and insurance. This is the part that they write down, that is the part that we bill that is over and above what they allow. The request is to approve the mandatory adjustments of $223,829.31.
Questions, comments? Something that we do every year. So, do I have a motion to approve the annual Medicare adjustment?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7B, approve resolution 2024-17 vacating utility easement.
This resolution has to do with the public hearing, which was the public hearing to consider the vacation of the utility easement located on the old lot lines 1 and 2 of the Joseph Anthony plat. If the city council feels it's appropriate to vacate that easement, it should do so by adopting resolution 2024-17, vacating that utility easement.
Questions, concerns? Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2024-17?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Motion by Shellen, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Diane seconded. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, 5 in favor, none against. 7C, approve Resolution 2024-18, authorizing execution of documents.
So at the February 7th City Council meeting, the council went into closed session, and after coming out of closed session, they directed staff to reach out to the buyer of Lot 2 Aerosmith Plat 3, indicating that we would accept his offer. I did reach out to him, and we are a go, and so now I am requesting that the City Council approve Resolution 2024-18, authorizing the mayor and the city administrator to execute all the documents to allow for the sale of the property. So what the request is, Resolution 2024-18, authorizing the execution of purchase agreement and closing documents for the sale of Lot 2 Aerosmith Plat 3.
Questions? Otherwise, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2024-18?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Heidi, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Diane. Last minute questions? Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, 5 in favor, none against. 7D, approve Resolution 2024-19, ordering feasibility report.
So also at the February 7th meeting, the council received an update on a potential 2025 capital improvement project, would include utilities and street improvements on Pine and Birch from Sinclair Lewis Avenue down to 9th between Ash and Main, so that whole big chunk. The project would be accomplished over a 2-year period. The council was concerned having a large project underway for 25 and 26, followed in 27 by Trunk Highway 71, and that there'd be so much of the town under construction at the same time. So the Operations Committee met and they discussed that project and the condition of the infrastructure. And now they recommend that we have a feasibility report be ordered and that the project be considered a 2-year project with Birch and related side streets in year 1, Pine and related side streets in year 2. The feasibility report would authorize the city engineer to proceed with determining costs for the project and those costs brought before the city council, at which time the council will determine if it should proceed with a public hearing on the improvement, which would likely occur in August. The hearing would be August or September. And so Keith is here if you have any specific questions on what that project would look like. Otherwise, I do have Resolution 2024-19 ordering the preparation of the feasibility report.
Questions? Comments? Everyone kind of knows this, we've been discussing this for a while, so.
Operations Commission met for almost 2 hours on that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Diane to approve Resolution 2024-19. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Joe. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, 5 in favor, none against. 7E, approve Resolution 2024-20, authorizing purchase of floor scrubber.
The 2024 budget for the fire department includes the purchase of a floor scrubber. Quotes were obtained with the following results. A&H Concrete for $4,120 and John Brophy for $9,210.49. The difference in these is that the more expensive one, he was unable to get the exact same model. So so that bid from Brophy is the same brand, but a larger size. And so I did verify with the department, it's the smaller size that they actually want. So that would be appropriate for use in the fire department. So what we're looking to is approve Resolution 2024-20, authorizing purchase of the floor scrubber from A&H Concrete for $4,120.
Questions, comments? We have a motion to approve Resolution 2024-20.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Shellen,
I'll second.
second by Diane.
Nope.
She beat you to it.
No problem.
Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Motion carries, 4 in favor, none against, 1 abstention. 7F, approve Resolution 2024-21, authorizing quotes for pickup.
So the 2024 budget includes the replacement of the one-ton pickup with attachments. This is a 2002 that we purchased back used in 2013. The funds have been set aside in the sinking fund for the purchase, so that's from prior years as we set the money aside. Public Works Supervisor Ben Klink is requesting that authorization be given to solicit the quotes for the purchase of that replacement vehicle. And so that is Resolution 2024-21, authorizes solicitation of quotes. This would be the same process as we did for the other 2002 vehicle, where we do go out to the state bid, then we also check locally. And at the last meeting, we actually were able to get a better bid locally. So we'll do that same process again.
Okay. Any questions, concerns? Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2024-21?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Joe. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Unfinished business, 2024 stormwater project.
Also, at the February 7th meeting, council meeting, the completion of the truck stop stormwater project was addressed as unfinished business to be potentially completed in 2024. The issue to be resolved with the project is to eliminate the majority of the truck stop water from crossing Trunk Highway 71, which has caused flooding downstream prior to the water reaching the river. The water from the truck stop, when combined with Welly Southdown, Felling Trailers, Kane Transport, Modern Farm, and Sauk Center Tire, floods the residential property and floods the ditch of Highway 71, which exposes the natural gas lines, which now MnDOT has made it our responsibility to take care of. This has actually been an ongoing issue since 1999, with several attempts to address it over the years. This proposal diverts runoff into a newly constructed storm pond in the South Sauk Center Industrial Park. The design for that pond did envision this additional water and has been designed to accommodate it, and that's included in the permit that we had for that pond. The project was budgeted to be completed with a combination of TIF funds for the portion related to the South Sauk Center Industrial Park and also stormwater utility revenues. Requests from the management from the truck stop, we had updated those in the design, and then Keith actually met with him out there today to kind of finalize what that might look like. That included reducing the depth of the ditch holding pond on the north side of the entrance driveway and a new pond construction to the west of the propane tanks. We had budgeted $500,000 for the project to include engineering. The construction estimate is $436.90 with an all-in estimated cost of $495. So we were pretty close with our estimate. The Operations Committee met and discussed the proposal on Thursday, February 15th, with direction to staff to meet with the truck stop with updates for possible action at March 6th. At that time, we weren't certain what day we were going to meet with the truck stop, but Keith did meet with them today. So I'm not asking for action tonight because he's got some tweaks to the design to do. But if you have any questions or input for him, now would be the time.
Okay. Any questions, comments? I take it we discussed cleaning and stuff like that with him today?
Yes, we did talk with maintenance of the pond, who's going to mow it, who's going to clean it, all of that thing, and that is something that the truck stop is willing to take care of.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if Keith has anything additional, or did I cover it pretty much? Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Any other questions? Then we will move on to new business, winter parking ordinance.
So, as you know, our current winter parking ordinance restricts on-street parking overnight from December 1st to March 31st. Due to unseasonably warm weather, the ordinance was suspended due to the yards and lawns getting destroyed from parking. This was to be until we received snow, which we did on February 14th. The restrictions were restored, which resulted in multiple tickets and a lot of complaints from residents. With the weather appearing to be unseasonably warm again, I think the council should consider whether they should lift the restrictions for the remainder of the season and call a snow emergency if we get substantial snow, or the restrictions should remain and be enforced for the balance of the season. We're getting a lot of pushback back and forth on this. I thought this is something we'll take to the full council. You make the call. We either suspend it for the rest of the year and call a snow emergency if we need to, or enforce it through March 31st. It's your call.
Comments?
Both ways of enforcing a snow emergency and notifying of restrictions being put on or taken off kind of happen the same way, don't they? It's through social media, most.
When we do a snow emergency, we have people that have signed up for it. So there's an email, there's text, there's Facebook. We actually put it out through RBIG. There's quite a different, we would revert back to that process for notification. And of course, if there's a snow emergency, there's snow. I mean, there's quite a bit of snow.
So we didn't utilize the snow emergency lines when we had the enforcement lifted and put back on?
Not for
No.
not for this one, because it was a small amount.
Okay. I think that's my only concern, is that when we make decisions that could affect a lot of people, is to make sure that we're using the communication routes that reach the most people possible to avoid these,
And when we lifted it, it was like, we're gonna lift it until it snows.
yeah.
Right.
And then it snowed,
Yeah.
but that didn't click for people, I
No.
guess.
And, you know, and I don't have a problem if we suspend it, well, not for the rest of the year, because we're gonna put this back into effect
Right.
on December 1.
Right.
So if we want to, but then if we're looking, if Ben and Vicky and I get together and we call a snow emergency, because even 1 inch is gonna turn into ice and somebody's gonna complain about it. But to be totally rude, if it's snowing, common sense should tell you to get your vehicle off the street. And if you can't figure that out, you should get towed. And that's, my opinion is if we decide to suspend the winter parking rules until March 31st because of this weather, you come along and, see it snowing and you leave your vehicle out there, you're getting ticketed and towed that time, and there's no exceptions. Don't give us the excuse of not knowing, because obviously you could see snow coming down. It's,
So are you saying that if we decide to lift this, they would get ticketed
if we call,
regardless? But okay, so we have to call the snow emergency, but they
Yes.
will get ticketed, okay.
if we lift this, they won't get ticketed for parking on the road, but if it starts to snow and we have,
Right.
and we call an emergency or for any reason that Ben says we need to go out and take care of stuff, we'll give them enough notice, but common sense has got to kick in. Get off the street, otherwise you won't have a vehicle in the morning.
It's reasonable and logical for most people.
Yeah, I agree.
Because when we did reinstate it, we had 18 that first night.
Yeah.
But then it quit snowing and then everybody went in and then we had 55. It's like, really?
Yeah.
We reinstated it. Didn't mean anything, you know? And if we're just gonna make rules to not enforce them,
I think,
then we might as well quit.
I agree with keeping the ordinance the way it is for each year, but this being the
Yeah, this isn't
the
an
winter that
exception.
didn't.
Right, right.
It should be the exception to the rule, and we follow the regular stuff from here on out. And hopefully we don't have to deal with this again for another 100 years like it has been, so.
Well,
Hallelujah.
we got March coming up. And
Yeah.
Right.
we always know anytime you got basketball tournaments or any type of state tournaments, it usually turns into a mess.
Yes, it does.
So that's where the possibility of a snow emergency is gonna come in.
Yeah,
You know, and we're not gonna call it unless, you know, Ben, Vicky, and I think it needs to get done, or one of us, or
And
two.
usually a snow emergency is like, you got 6 inches
Yeah.
of snow or something like
Yeah.
that, not like an inch and a half type
Right.
of thing. It's usually a bigger event, or if it's really wet, or if it's gonna be windy, or it depends on conditions, because now
Yeah.
we're getting into the time of year, the sun has more melting power, that type of thing. So we'll just have to make that decision based on conditions.
yeah.
I agree.
So what's the council's wishes?
I would make a motion to suspend the winter parking rules for the remainder of the season.
Till March 31st.
Having the ability to call snow emergencies, yeah, this season, like when we come around for next winter again after we're done.
December 1, it goes
Right.
back on again.
Right,
Okay,
well, yeah.
yeah.
So you're just
Okay.
suspending it, or if the?
My motion is to suspend it for the rest of the season till March
Until March
31st.
31st.
Okay, unless there's a snow emergency,
Which we
right?
would be
Yeah,
called, that
which-
would be called if there was a snow emergency, they
Okay,
would be able to
yeah,
have that.
I'd go along with that.
Yeah, we call it snow
Yeah,
emergency.
okay.
so,
Yep, I'll second it.
Okay. Is that a motion, a second? Does everybody understand the motion?
Okay.
Any other comments? Okay, then I will call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Joe now has his marching orders. Okay, consent agenda. We have schedule of claims, unpaid claims, $42,728.18. Paid claims of $333, for a total of $43,061.18. January checks, paid claims / payroll, $1,646,532.38. We have a gambling application for exempt permit request from Sauk Center Snow Cleats for a raffle on June 12th, 2024 at Holy Family School. We have 5 requests, if I counted right, from Scott Kowski representing the American Legion Post 67, an application and permit for a 1-day temporary on-sale liquor license for the beer garden during Sinclair Lewis Days in the Sinclair Lewis Park on July 19th, 2024. The fee and certificate of insurance are being provided. Also, an application and permit for a 4-day temporary on-sale liquor license during the Stearns County Fair from July 31st to August 3rd, 2024. Fee and certificate of insurance are being provided. We have a application and permit for a 1-day temporary on-sale liquor license during the Stearns County Fair for August 4th, 2024. Fee and certificate of insurance are being provided. And the application and permit for a 2-day temporary on-sale liquor license at the Stearns County Fairgrounds for August 16th through 17th, 2024. Fee and certificate of insurance are being provided. And for 1 temporary extension of outdoor liquor permit for the permit term of 1 day on October 5th, 2024 for a 5K run in the north parking lot of the Legion from noon to 10 p.m. And they also would like to have permission to block off Park Road from the boat landing to Main Street. Is there any questions?
I have 2 questions, maybe. This is a goofy question. What is the G, August 16th to the 17th? Do you know what that event is or no?
I think that's a demo derby,
Is it?
not certain.
It's either a demo derby, it's either that or that truck show.
Truck show?
Oh, it
The
could be the
truck,
truck
the
show.
2-day
Oh,
truck
that
show.
makes sense. Okay. And then the other question I was curious about is, what's the reason for August 4th being separated from the other ones? Is that just because it's a Sunday and it's a different?
What's the difference on which one? I'm sorry?
So,
We have a 4-day.
yeah, there's a 4-day and a
Oh,
1-day.
because you can only have a permit for 4 days.
Ah,
So
got it.
they got a 4-day one and a 1-day
Okay.
one.
Okay.
They have a
Good to know.
certain number of permits they can have a year and a total number of days they can have a year.
Okay.
And the one thing with Scott for the Legion, he covers the whole year with all the requests at once, so he's on the ball on that. So, is there any other questions or concerned on the consent agenda? Hearing nothing, we have a motion by Diane to approve the consent calendar. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Informational items.
Just have a couple things here. The presidential primary caucus information is February 27th, which is next Tuesday. The Republican Party is at the Sauk Center Elementary School cafeteria, and the Democratic Party is at the Melrose Area High School. So that's the 2 different caucuses that we have. I believe the Legal Marijuana Now Party is not having a caucus. So those are the 3 different parties that'll be on the ballot, which leads us into the presidential nomination primary, which is March 5th to 2024, which starts here 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you come and you vote your party. You'll have 3 different ballots. You pick one of those 3 ballots and vote. And so that's coming up. And so just want to make sure we get the word out to that. I think we have it on Facebook and a couple other places to remind people. This is only the 2nd time we've had a presidential primary election in Minnesota, so something different. Super Tuesday.
Okay.
That's all I have.
No questions about the informational? All right, then do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Joe, seconded by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Meeting adjourned.